Hey everyone, today I wanted to bring to you a project. I was working on some tea bags that I had left over for when I was tea staining my paper, and I let them fully dry, and they've been there for quite a while since I shared how I do my tea staining. And I decided to come on and show you what I do with them. These are hidden paper clips that I created with the tea bags. And these particular ones I just decorated on one side with the exception of one, and just use various things as a dangle. I believe this one I decorated on both sides. The choice is yours, and they are hidden paper clips, so they will just slide over on your project, on your page, and they'll look like that. And I just think it's a great way to use all of your little leftover bits from when you're creating your tea stain paper. Isn't that cute? I think it's adorable. Especially if you're into grunge, if you're into vintage. This one I made a little modern. This is actually masking tape technique that I learned from Rosie at Rosie's Creative Wings. If you want to know how I did that, I can add the video on the end screen. And if you want to know the process of how I tea stain my paper, I will also add that on the end screen. So I had these in my stash, and sometimes your printer needs a head cleaning, and they came out imperfect. And you can see the streaks of the lines, but I wasn't going to throw it away. Ink is very expensive. And these off prints are great to use because you don't see it through the tea bag. Not at all. And really easy to make. I usually mass make these. You're going to need some scissors. Obviously, you're going to need a paper clip. Whatever it is that you want to put on the inside. I just had these pictures, but if you look at this one, this is just an ephemera piece. That's numbers back there. See? On this one, because I added a pop of color, these are stamps. It's a stamp image back there, see? Hopefully you can see that. You can put whatever it is that you want on the inside of your tea bag. So you're going to need some kind of cardboard for your paper clip, right? Because it's going to be hidden. And then whatever little bits and pieces that you want to use to embellish. What else? Oh, I also used a concoction. Oh, wait. Depending on what you're embellishing with, I have my Beacon silicone glue. I also, because I use buttons, you can use E6000 or B7000. This is from Temu, and it works. It works. It works. You're gonna need a brush, and you're gonna need a concoction. Hold on. All right. So here's my brush, and here's my concoction. All this is I forgot the own recipe. It's regular PVA glue, school glue, with some instant coffee in there and some water. And I just want it to not be as thick as glue, but obviously I want it to stick, right? So that's the concoction. Don't know if anyone else has used this, made this. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure they have. I'm just going to grab a piece of parchment paper to protect my desk, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. So I took one already, right? And all I did was cut it across the bottom. So I take my tea bag, and I just reform it, because normally when I take them out, I scrunch them to get all the excess tea out. And then I let them dry just like that. So all I'm doing is pushing the tea out from the edge, and then making it flat, right, and straight. So this way I can come in and cut along the bottom. That easy. And then all I'm gonna do is shake this dry tea out from the bag. And now I have a tea stained bag. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna toss it off to the side in my trash. And then this is file folder that I distressed with shoe polish. Really easy to do. Love the effects. And all I'm doing is measuring a piece that's going to be long enough to cover my paper clip. Right? So it doesn't, that's good enough. It's a rough estimate. This is a no measuring project, guys. And it's also one that you can mass make. So I'm going to cut that down. And then I'm going to add my paper clip. I'm going to grab my bag. Right, string out of the way, and I am going to guesstimate pretty much how much I'm going to need to cover the back. So I'm thinking about there. So I'm going to come in a little bit in front of that line, as straight as I can. I don't know, sometimes I can't cut straight. And there is the internal mechanism that we're going to use and glue underneath here, right? There it is. And you want to make sure that it doesn't pass all the way. Okay. Now before I glue this, I'm gonna pick my image. And just for simplicity, I'm gonna use these. Maybe, and I usually don't work with people, but well, this is cute. Let's use her. I just want to make sure that it is narrow enough to fit inside, which this one is. And I'm gonna get it into position, right? Somewhere around there, maybe a little higher. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then I'm gonna put the other one in on the other side. And it doesn't have to be the same image, or depends on your project what it is. Doesn't even have to be the same size, because you saw one was bigger than the other. So there they are inside the bag. Here is where I'm going to place my, and I think I'm gonna want to ink the edges on this, just so it's not so predominant. Even though that concoction is glue, PVA glue, water, and coffee, it is gonna stain through. Make it just a little bit more darker, but inking is optional. It's your preference. I'm gonna place that, make sure that it fits, which it does. Check it on both sides, because again, you know, my bag is a little deformed from, all right, so there we have it. I'm gonna grab my silicone glue. You can use Fabri-Tac, Beacon, 3-in-1, any silicone glue. Because this is material, this is a tea bag, and we want to make sure that it's going to grab. And it will seep through, which is why I put the image in first, right? Make sure it's in position, and then we're gonna close it up. Give it a good press. You might want to grab a spare piece of paper. I'll just use this. And I will just put that in between, so in case there's any seepage, it won't glue to the other side. So now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And for these, I cut the edges down. You can leave them exactly the way they are when you cut it open. I just wanted to add a little decorative finish to it, and I used my fringing scissors to give it like a decorative edge. But if you don't have that, that's fine. They tend to ruffle up. All right, so there we have that. Now, to get this to adhere to the picture, this is where I use my little concoction here. And I'm going to grab my brush. Just rinsed out this brush too. I'm going to grab some and I'm going to slide in underneath. Right? Smaller brush might be useful. And then I'm going to come in and coat that so it can grab. Then we're just going to take some more and we're just going to paint it on top. I like the color that it gets. I like it dark and grungy, so I'm just going to come in on the top. And you're probably wondering, Dahlia, it's going to glue, but we're going to switch it off in a minute. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to get my brush up in there and coat the top of the picture. And then come in. Sorry about the sirens. And then come in and add some more glue, color, and make sure that it all adheres to itself. And this is what you get so far. I think it's really cool. If you love grunge. And this is why you protect your surface. So let me close this because I'm also a klutz. And then I'm going to pause you for a second and then I'm going to let that dry. And then I'm going to show you the next steps. So we're going to let this dry for a few. All right, so now it is dry. And you can see, well, for the most part, it's still a little damp, but you can see the effect. I hope you can see that. Really grungy. This is where I'll come in with my fringing scissors and just give it a little haircut just for decorative pieces. Just to give it a decorative look. Right, so that's that. Now on the dangle, I dangled small ephemera, small pieces. I'm gonna do the same. And I've had these in my stash for quite some time and I've always struggled using it, so I thought it was the perfect size. You can see that I also use different elements. Where's the other one? I had some die cuts of some flowers, which I don't see anymore. Here they are. Whatever you have, that'll make a cute dangle. And I just inked the top of that because I wanted to knock back that color. And these look like two different sizes. Loki's getting excited about something at the door. What's the matter, my darling? Okay. So, to do this, I lay my string out, and I'm mindful of the staple, right? Because I might not decorate the other side. And I want it that when it's hanging right side up. So right side up, I'm going to flip it. I'm going to rest it there. And I'm going to come and add some, now he's barking outside the window, some glue. Then I'm going to take my string and I'm going to lay it across the middle. So I'm going to hold that there. Try to get it as center as I can. And then I'm going to lay the other one on top. Okay. And I'm going to let that dry. Just want to make sure it didn't seep onto the plastic. Little parchment paper. So I'm going to get that off. And then center it. Give it a good press. Get that glue all the way to the edges. And then once this dries, you can distress the edges and clip that excess string off. And then you embellish as you wish. I have a basket of loose threads, so anytime I'm sewing, ripping fabric, any of those loose threads, I kind of throw them in here. And then I'll just grab some to use behind things. So I think I'm gonna I'm going to add that there. And I think I pulled this out. I'm going to cut this in half. Let me ink it first. I'm going to cut this in half. And ink that. Ink that. And then maybe I'll put that like that. I think that's cute. I'm not gonna overthink it. We're just having fun, playing around. So I'm gonna add some fabric, silicone glue there. Add my messy threads there. I'm gonna come in, pull here, that right across, and just press it down a little bit. And then do the same thing here. Just realized I left my water running. Sorry if you can hear that. I'm gonna add that one there. And that's it. How easy is that? When I did these this morning, I did it assembly style, so I cut all apart. And then I took all the tea out. And then I went and picked out all my images and got that inside all the pockets, front and back. And then I went and started looking at ephemera, and I just went and did them all assembly style, guys. So I hope you like it. I hope you give it a try. And I hope you found it inspirational, that you will take a look at your tea bags and do them a little different. This was a lot of fun. All right, my friends, till the next one, and I'll see you real soon. Take care now.